Welcome and thanks for coming to this Abuse Policy Forum. Showing your faces publicly is already a major step in combating the culture of shame, stigma, and silence around abuse. This topic does not belong behind closed doors. Firstly, we should all thank the people behind this event who chose to remain unmentioned. Many of us know who they are. They are the silent warriors protecting our community without asking for any credit. It has been approximately 1 year since the Beis Din's psak requiring that suspected abuse be reported directly to the police. It essentially said that rabbis should not serve as gatekeepers to the police. Perhaps the DA's office took a lesson from this ruling by more recently seeking to require that all religious clergy serve as mandated reporters. Since the letter, there have been numerous arrests and prosecutions directly resulting from the Beis Din's mandate. This event is a mere continuation of the precedent that has long been set in the Crown Heights community. In fact, Crown Heights has had many similar events in the past, which should serve as a shining example to other Jewish and non-Jewish communities. This specific event is to discuss policies that schools and camps can implement to keep children safe, including extensive background checks and reference checks on all volunteers or employees, whistleblower protection laws that protect employees that report suspected abuse. To protect employees from employer retaliation, employees should know that if they suspect abuse and report it, the school or camp administration won't reprimand them. Cameras in schools and classrooms, applying concepts of yichud, Jewish modesty concepts, to teacher and student interactions. Several schools have already implemented these policies in Crown Heights. Jewish law requires that we set up guardrails on rooftop yards to prevent injury. Policies are guardrails to curb abuse. Shame, secrecy, and fear around discussing sexual abuse is a harsh reality in every community on this planet, both secular and religious. Although the issue exists in every community, few communities address it this candidly. It should be commended. Rabbi Tzvi Gluck, Director of Crisis Management in Our Place, will moderate this evening. Rabbi Gluck was chosen to moderate given his track record of single-handedly assisting the DA and police in bringing numerous offenders to justice. His actions speak louder than words. This event is about action, namely implementing policies in schools and camps to keep our children safe. I introduce you, Rabbi Gluck. Just as a side note, any of the views that are expressed aren't necessarily endorsed by the organizers or sponsors of this specific event. Everyone is entitled to express their viewpoints and be heard. I introduce you our moderator tonight, Rabbi Tzvi Gluck.
Thank you very much for your warm words. And it's with a heavy heart that I stand here this afternoon, because issues of abuse and issues of people not having their voices heard have all too long been going on and being blocked. Our children are the ones that we're here for. I'm here as a parent to try to make this world a safer and better place for my children and for those of everyone in this room. I'd like to preface by making one statement. Abuse, be it sexual, physical, verbal, emotional, occurs everywhere. It knows no race, color, ethnicity, sexual orientation. Everyone and every community and every minority, majority group worldwide has this problem. Many times I've been attacked as to saying, why are you turning this into an Orthodox issue or an Orthodox Jewish issue? And the answer is I'm not. But being that I'm a parent within the Orthodox Jewish school system, and I work within the Orthodox Jewish world, I have to start with my own community if I want to make this world a safer and better place. So I therefore start by telling everyone this problem is everywhere. It's a worldwide problem. And the only way that we can tackle issues of abuse is if we decide as a community to band together and to really put an end to this and to make those that keep us in shame no more, so that we have our own voices heard and can make this world a better place. The speakers tonight, the presenters, are going to be Mr. Erwin M. Zolkin, who's a litigator who's been ranked in the top 5% of lawyers in this country. He has been a trial lawyer for over 30 years, handling cases all over the United States as well as international matters. He has been specializing more recently in assisting individuals and families across the country when dealing with issues of sexual abuse, primarily with cover-ups by institutions. He has been using negligent individuals and institutions that are covering up abuse as a method to bring this to a platform, to bring closure and help to those that have not had their voices heard. We are hoping that he'll be able to explain to us what it is that he's been doing so that we can use that as a guideline to what our institutions should not be facing and how we can protect our institutions before they have these issues come up. One of the things I mention to institutions when I speak to them myself is that when we set up guidelines, it's not only to protect the children, but it's also to protect them as well, because we find that when institutions have appropriate guidelines and appropriate safety measures in place, then they are protected as well from allegations if they follow those rules appropriately. So it's really a win-win for everybody. We have Charles J. Hines, the District Attorney of Kings County, who has been in office since 1989. He's going to be speaking about what his office is doing and continues to do, both with programs, projects, prosecution, and things that we should all know about. We have Norman Siegel, who's the former executive director of the New York ACLU. He has been working pro bono, representing sexual abuse victims, and will reflect on the advantages of victims having representation and having people guide them through the process. He's also going to discuss briefly on the letter that the Beis Din of Crown Heights had published, which you had mentioned earlier, about a year ago, I believe, which clearly states that the Jewish law is to report abuse, and suspected abuse as well. We have the honor of having Harav Yosef Blau Shlita, the Mashgiach Ruchni at Yeshiva University, Rabbi Isaac Elchanan Theological Seminary. Rabbi Blau has been on the forefront as far as rabbinical leadership in helping us deal with abuse issues all over the country, speaking about it in the context of halacha, combining halacha with the laws of the land to ensure that we're able to follow halacha while following the laws and dealing with these issues appropriately. And we also have Mr. Mordechai Feinstein, who is a survivor of sexual abuse and an advocate for justice and prevention of abuse, who is going to reflect upon his own personal experiences of what he went through in an effort to enlighten and open up the eyes of those of us here to know the effects, what it has on one of the family. It's important that everyone here knows that when someone is abused, no matter what the abuse is, the effects are long-lasting, lifelong, and affects everyone around them. We have no choice. We must decide together as a community, as one, that we will no longer tolerate abuse of any nature. Whether it was 15, 20 years ago dealing with issues of spousal abuse, that of course didn't exist. Whether it was closer to 10 to 15 years ago dealing with issues of drug abuse or alcohol abuse within our community, that again at that point didn't exist. And now we're unfortunately dealing with the issues of sexual abuse and other various types of abuse to our children. We can no longer remain silent. We're not allowed to remain silent, and we must decide to join together and put an end to this once and for all.